There are 9 cardinal rules of e-commerce that every single brand owner should know. If you follow these rules, you will massively increase your chances of taking your store from 6 or 7 figures into the 8-figure revenue range over the next 12 months. And the first rule is to diversify your traffic sources. If you rely on one channel, you are at the whims of that platform, and you never know when it's going to die down or when ad costs may potentially increase. There's nuance here because you want to have one platform where you can hang your hat on it each month, where you really excel, but you also want to supplement that channel and not be fully reliant on it. Having multiple platforms over time will help you reduce volatility in your customer acquisition cost and make your acquisition a bit more predictable each month. How this looks for most of our clients is that they are generally very strong on meta ads, both on Instagram and Facebook, but then they supplement it with Google, with Pinterest, with TikTok, and even some native ads at certain points. Another bonus here is SEO. It helps us rank on search engines such as Google and Bing and is super effective over time. The second rule is to build an email list, have an engaged email subscribership, and make sure you're sending them personalized content over time. In a well-optimized e-commerce brand, roughly a third or even more of their revenue will actually come from their email channel. Email marketing substantially decreases your cost to acquire a new customer and will also increase your lifetime value of that customer. You want to focus on acquisition, conversion, and retention in order to do this effectively. Every website should have a pop-up which collects email addresses, which is the acquisition side of this equation. This allows us to remarket to people who go onto our website and give us their email. You then want to build a series of pre-purchased and post-purchase automations, otherwise known as flows, in order to help people along that customer journey to make their first purchase, and also, once they do purchase, to try and nurture them in order to buy again. You're also going to want to segment your list based on specific characteristics that they actually satisfy, and then send them customized content over time in email campaigns. These campaigns should be weekly or even multiple times weekly and should avoid discounting 80% of the time. We can then help build the brand perception in the customer's mind by showing social proof, showing behind the scenes, and showing what we're working on. Finally, to keep the machine running, you want to do a few things each month. One is that you want to clean your list of highly unengaged profiles. Two is that you want to take stock of how your active customer file, all of your other segments, and your list growth went that month. And three, you want to figure out which messaging worked best within your automations and within your campaigns, and use that information to help you for the next month with your automation tests and with your campaigns. The third point is to have a specific focus on customer retention using things outside of just email marketing. See if you can implement a customer loyalty program to assist in repeat purchases, and consider introducing subscriptions if your product category allows it. If you can't use subscriptions given your product category, once people have purchased maybe 3 times, you can send them exclusive offers because they are so valuable to you at that point. They may only need a tiny push to go from purchasing 3 times to 4, 5, 6, and even beyond. The fourth point is that customer support is king. Offer multiple support channels: email, phone, live chat, and even social media. Make sure that you have a clear and concise FAQ section that gives clear and concise answers to any questions that customers may commonly have. Even in the messaging, you can also respond in the brand's tone of voice. There is an old saying which says, you build a living on the front end, but you build wealth on the back end. Good customer support helps you do this. The fifth is that if you can, you want your branding to help you in terms of having some virality potential with your products. Look at how Liquid Death managed to differentiate themselves in potentially the most saturated market on earth, which is the water market. They have extremely memorable branding, and it makes you want to tell your friends because there's this inherent humor and irony within the brand. If there's a combination of the actual effects of your products being unique and them being well branded, something magical can very often happen. This is where there is virality potential. And what happens there is that people share even your ads on social media. They'll share your social media posts with their friends, driving down your blended impression costs in that way, and then also using email and SMS marketing to further drive down that cost leads to magical outcomes for many of the brands that we work with. The sixth cardinal rule is to offer multiple payment options and make your checkout page super fast. When customers want to give you money, there is nothing worse than not having a way to process it. This leaves you to miss out on a ton of sales. You of course want to accept all major cards and digital wallets, but you also want to make sure you have a couple of processors, Stripe and PayPal. And finally, you want to offer Klarna, Afterpay, and other payment terms that people can use. I know many brand owners have their reservations about PayPal in particular in terms of payment hold. From the consumer side, PayPal equals trust, and it's going to very much help your conversion rate in your website. The seventh cardinal rule is to foster great relationships with your suppliers and negotiate favorable terms for yourself. Once you have good suppliers and you're able to clearly communicate your needs and concerns up front, just maintain open lines of communication from there and treat them as valuable partners. Finally though, for your own benefit, you do want to negotiate very favorable payment terms and minimum order quantities. Especially when you're doing higher order volume here, you have a lot more wiggle room and negotiation power. You can leverage this to drive down your costs, negotiate more favorable terms, and from here, if you have even slightly lower costs, that fundamentally changes the business because it can actually have a huge effect on lowering your break-even ROAS on the front end in terms of your ad platforms. The eighth cardinal rule is to be organized and have your inventory super well managed. Inventory determines if you're able to service future customers or not, and in this way is pretty much your brand's biggest asset. Track stock levels in real time and set appropriate reorder points based on the data that you're seeing. If you have your own warehouse, you can even conduct physical inventory counts. The ninth and final cardinal rule is to keep investing time and money into your finances to make sure that that side of the business is extremely well looked after. Hire an experienced e-commerce accountant to manage your financial records and see if you can put in proper projections, because that is a huge way to help keep you growing. Our CFO, Seamus, says that you should be able to understand your business well enough so that you can create a 13-week cash model corresponding to a business quarter and always wind up within 10% of your projections every single quarter. As a result, regularly review your financial statements, your balance sheet, your profit and loss statement, and so on, and continuously look for a way to optimize your costs and improve your profit margins, especially on the supplier side. There we have it, the 9 cardinal rules of e-commerce that you really should not break. You can click on this video here where I talk about how 3 of our clients in just a 90-day period generated over $4.3 million in sales from email marketing alone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.